was unprepared for that one, wasn't I? Had that picture up and everything. I meant to turn that off. What's up, y'all? Let me bring up the chat window, because there was some people in here early like normal. Holy crap, I missed a bunch of Judd. You've been jutting away. Braveheart always first. Thank you, Bobby. Carlos, mother, Texan, father. Ron from 738 last night, and you never showed. What's up with that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that didn't happen last night, now did it? Anthony, what happened last night? A little fake Halloween action. Algae Warrior, Pirate Monkey Reefing, Taylor King, Evan Carr. What's up, Kyle? Hit the like button. Thank you, Pirate Monkey Reefing. That's very nice of you. What's up, Juan? You haven't missed anything yet. We just sort of started. I'm going to turn down the music a little bit. Darth. Hello, sir. Craig. 23 watching, but only 4. Oh, that's nice of you, mother. There's some thumbs happening in there. It looks like I got the... See that fancy little counter up there? My boy taught me how to do that. It's kind of scooched over a little too far, isn't it? I kind of want to move this over here a little bit, because that's where it needs to be, right there. Yeah. The music is really low in the background, Taylor. I just haven't turned it down yet. I can kind of see it. Is it annoying? What up, B? Reef. Moan. I'm screwing that up. What's up, Andy? Reef Chief. Hey, Lynn. Andy. There we go. I'm Anthony Rodriguez. That's just switched accounts. So you're keeping me guessing. Yeah. So Remy just published his frag tank video. Go check that out. I haven't watched it. He and I talked about it, but I haven't seen it. I want to see what he ended up with. I understand it was kind of fancy. Andy, no, you're you're not bothering me at all. There's actually quite a bit of communication going on in the background. I'm sure that's the case with like a whole lot of us. Anybody who's willing to help, any of these hobbyists that are willing to help, I'm sure that happens quite often. But oh, I'd like to explore this, Andy Alfonso. Why you're upset about the BRS doohickey? I didn't order anything. I didn't need to order anything. And I didn't order anything. I'll just keep it at that. Taylor did a good job on. She always does, doesn't she? All right, let's get to this. It's freaking November already, and it got a little chilly last night. It was nice. I don't have a why is my concurrent viewer count down to 0? That seems odd. It looks like I'm streaming. 5 orders, not even $10 gift card. That's why I didn't order. I don't think those picks are random. The people who get the goodies, I don't think that's random. But what do I know? I need to do my ordering come Black Friday. I need to get my year's worth of salt, my HW Marine. I need to get, I'll get some more, actually I'll take a look at what calcium and alkalinity is, but I usually buy a whole bunch of that. I bought a 5-pack, maybe more when COVID hit, maybe a couple 5-packs each, I'm not sure. Oh, mother. You're not supposed to do this. This is my social, not yours. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling buying anything. But that's how that went. So I did this, went over today and did that. Because it 'tis the season. What's the best part of November 3rd? Election day. They never show how they choose the winner. Yeah, I agree, Lynn. You know what? It's their business. They can do what they want. And they do. And that's the way it should be. $10 gift card, my first order. Could have sworn my MJ 1200 in the box didn't weigh 1.7 pounds. Over around 2. No luck. Hey, Jeremy Phillips. The MJ 1200. Is that the old school one or the new school one? Because I really like those old school ones. I didn't think they were making those anymore. T5's coming in there, Andrew. All right. Did a little voting. Did a little drive-by. Did a little drop box. That worked for me. And, you know, whatever. It's their thing, Lynn. I mean, it's cool. All those companies get behind them and they support them. That's cool. All those companies want to give away stuff. That's cool. That brings in more business, more shopping, more. They want to beat Amazon at that game. That's on their wall. I saw it. That's cool. They got to do what they got to do. And I'm cool with that. What's up, Remy? I haven't gone to see your video, but we talked about you when you weren't here. I hope you don't mind. In a positive way. How'd that freight tank work out? Cobalt. They aren't making them anymore, but someone else I saw picked them up. I would like to buy another one of those cobalts. Had a little help this week. This is, hell if I know, this is fuzzy stuff living in my freshwater. This freshwater has been sitting off my kitchen for a couple years. And that fuzzy stuff has been there for a while. I understand it to be fungus. So a couple people helped. And that was very nice of a couple people to help. So I got some antifungal stuff. I got some stuff from Fritz. And I got some, I don't know, some bottle of something that kind of smells like, I don't know what it smells like. Kind of smells like tea tree oil or something, and I put it in there, and we're gonna watch what happens. We're gonna watch greatness happen right there. That's my coffee tank. Well, until the work tank turns on. But yeah, I'm hoping that goes away. I know you've covered this 5 and a lot of zeros time. How long is the 54 watt AliExpress light? The 54 watt AliExpress light is 23-ish. Well, hell, hold on. Real time. I'm going to tell a story real quick. My father, the comedian that he thinks he is, he was annoyed by the COVID meetings. They were having too many of those daily calls where they get everybody together and everybody's got to talk, and it's boring as hell. Me bending over and grabbing that tape measure just reminded me of that. So he dressed up really nice one day from the waist up. And then in the middle of a bigwig corporate call, he goes, "Oh, hang on a second." And he gets up from his chair. He's not wearing any pants. He's rolling old man tighty whities, and he bends, turns around, bends over, picks something up, sits back down in the chair, and doesn't say anything. No more daily meetings. They took care of that. That's one way to do it. That's one way. Remy, this light, if you include a little bit of the wire that's sticking out, is about 23 inches. I hope that helps you, sir. I voted yesterday, Andy Alfonso. I'm Cuban, 10 years in this country, became a citizen in January. So now you can vote. Congratulations. That's pretty cool. I hear that test is hard, and all of us natural borns, we would suck at it and fail, and that's no doubt. So congratulations on passing that test. I am so far behind. A buttload is 384 gallons. Is that just shy of a shit ton? Boy, I hope it's been a couple Yeah, Melafix maybe? I'm not sure. It's not 40 inches. 23 inches. Hold on a second. I'm way down here. You picked up a beer. Oh, my father picked up a beer. So there's that. Tips for getting rid of controlling. I don't know what that is. Taylor, I don't know what that is. What is that? I don't know what that is. Yeah, Gabe's. I'd probably do it too. On to the next thing. Y'all, this is some drama. And I'm having a hard time accepting this drama. Although I think it's legit. And I'm really not having that hard of a time accepting this drama. Apparently, our friends at Neptune may be dissuading their retailers from offering the CoralView Hydros controller that I didn't even know was a controller. I had no idea. I thought it was a silly pump control thingy. I didn't know. And now all of a sudden it's a controller. So where'd that come from? I'm so not in the know. And like retailers were offering the Hydros and then pulled it from their web pages when they got a ringy dingy from Neptune. Threatened controller manufacturer. Maybe Neptune. That's what I've heard. And that's just silly. Lynn, I said just shy of. Just saying. Oh, yeah. So 4 by 81 watts, and they're not going to be 81 watts of those AliExpress bars delivered on Wednesday. You know what? I'd really like to know what their actual wattage is. If you have a kilowatt, there's one over there hooked up to. Oh, I can show you this, can't I? Oh, I can. I really can. Boom. That's Orphic OR2. So there's right now there's a kilowatt plugged into that thing. This is just what I was doing like some of the weekend. Yeah, I understand it to be legit, Andy, and I don't think this was fake one. I mean, if it was fake, well, good on them. Good on them for good on them for the marketing and the press, because that would be sweet. But I think it's legit. If you're reading it on the BRS TV Facebook group, then there's a really good chance that there was a whole lot of words addressing this. And generally, the more words, the more real the incident really was, and they're just trying to talk it away. But I think it's quite possible this was real. And good on them. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy the little one. I'm going to buy the Hydros whatever 2, because I want to understand the interface and I want to play with it a little bit. Because really, there's a Apex EL on the work tank. I don't like that thing. Plus, it's ugly. So I'm gonna take it off, and I'm gonna hook up this Hydros to it. Because really, I only care about temperature in that tank. I don't care about anything else, because I don't test that tank. I don't pay attention to it other than, do they look alive? Are they happy? Is there color in the corals? Then I kind of leave it be. Yeah, Juan, was there an awful lot of talk associated with the posts that you're talking about? I saw a couple posts, and they were really long and distinguished. Just saying. I might buy it now just because Neptune, don't like them. Yeah. So, I mean, we've covered my my interest in understanding all things controllers, and I have several from different manufacturers, and like little baby GHL over there, which I love, and then the P4 downstairs, and a couple of those Apexes. This is 3 actually, and E-Coral, I don't like that, and the and whatever that old one is on my tank downstairs. I would love to control my J-Bows. Pirate Monkey Reefing, you can. You can do it with any controller that can support 0 to 10. And then you get the 0 to 10 controller for J-Bows. If you just Google J-Bow 0 to 10 controller, it'll come up with a thingy. It's intended for Neptune Apex, but it can be used on any freaking controller you want that has 0 to 10. You just need something that has 0 to 10. And I think that, I mean, there's all sorts of talk about inexpensive controllers and stuff. And that, you can't really see it. Can you see it? You can kind of see it. It's way over there. The GHL Mini Wi-Fi, that's got 0 to 10 on it, I think. I have to look. Go look at it. Something to consider. They also have the Profilux 4 like starter kit. I can't remember what that's called either, but that's a really good controller, and then you can do whatever you want. You can control whatever you want. That's true. Jake did not write that story. I did see that. Mr. Ryan Grip did write that story. I did notice that. I did notice that Jake didn't write that. We can move past this. No more drama. This is some Profilux 4 data right here for you. What was happening is every morning, and I thought it was dosing of aminos. Wrong. I was wrong. Every morning my pH would start coming down here, and then it would jump off the cliff, and then it would bottom out, and then it would work its way back every day. I was like, what the hell is this cliff? Turns out that's when my fuge light turned off, that Pelfrey fuge light thingy that I have. I want to see the Hydros control a PWM light or any controller. You're not going to get that unless you buy yourself a 0 to 10 to PWM converter, which they do exist, but they might suck. I have some, and I've not played with it, but I want to. Maybe one day I will. So, but anyway, turns out it's that fuge light. So what I've done is I now leave that fuge light on all the way until, because this was the fuge light turning off. This was the frag tank lights turning on. This was the display lights turning on. And then this is when this like cliff started. So it took until freaking like 11 something a.m. for this 4 something a.m. thing to recover. So what I did is I just leave that light on until like here. And it just took this whole big drop out. Play with your pH. Don't spend money on CO2 scrubbing. And I mean, if you want to, that's cool, but you don't have to. Don't spend money on that stuff. It's just temporary. Calc, because it's the same stuff that's in the CO2 scrubber media. Calc, outside air to your scrubber. Those two together make a big difference. And stability, because stability will encourage happy corals, and happy corals like to photosynthesize, and if they're photosynthesizing, then they are increasing the pH by lowering the CO2 in the water. You're a quick one, Remy. You're on the ball, brother. Representing. Let's get to this. This is data I haven't shown yet. This is data that, speaking of controllers, you're going to upgrade your pellet smoker's controller. Dan Swanson? Should I? And if so, why? Because right now it works really, really well. It may do a little bit of this, but so what? So do my heater controllers. Those ink birds, they swing like crazy, but I don't care. Corals get used to it. Yeah, let me know about that smoker thing. I'm not sure. Do I need to? If it breaks, anyone dosing ammonium? Oh, ammonium nitrate. Is that what you're dosing? I'm dosing sodium nitrate, if that helps. Okay, back to data. All over the place. This is this light here. That is an Orphic OR2. And that is the Orphic bars that have 3-watt LEDs. The only difference to Wi-Fi makes a huge difference. Simulink. The only difference between the OR2 and OR3 are the OR3 has 5-watt LEDs, which doesn't matter because I can tell you why they did that. It doesn't matter because they're driving it with the exact same power supply. So they're not pushing any more juice through it. They have just installed 5-watters that won't heat up as much under the same load. Because that thing's pulling 28 watts, 18 LEDs. It's pulling 28 watts. It's warm, but it's not bad. And it's not bad because that's a big that's a big body on that thing. It's much bigger than the AliExpress bars in terms of amount of metal and surface area. They're made the same, but that light has more surface area, so it dissipates heat a little better. So what they've done with the OR3 is they have added 5 watts, they run them lower, and that means they will theoretically last longer. If you've not seen this data on Instagram, this is a 24, I know it's a rectangle, but it's actually a square because it's right down there on the floor. You can see it, a piece of foam board right there. This is a 24 by 24 inch area. However, we're measuring like bulk reef supply. I think they used to go out to 24 inches. I'm gonna have to go back. But now what they've done is they're doing 12 inches and they are doing a 20-inch ring. So they measure at 12 inches around the outside, and that is all of these measurements. And then they measure at 20 inches, which is around the outside here. All right. The thing to note about this OR2 is these two 100s right here. I didn't expect to see this number. I expected to see that drop off. And I think that is a product of the OR2 having such a wide range. That thing goes from like 410 nanometers all the way to like, I don't know, 480, something like that. So it's really wide. And wherever you put your par meter, it's reading whatever light is kind of above it, like the most prominent light that's up there. And I think that's just how that light operates. It's just an interesting thing. By the way, all these readings were taken with an MQ500, Apogee MQ500, which does not have the underwater multiplier. All of these readings were taken dry, open air. So these readings are accurate because I didn't have to do math on every single one of those to pull that multiplier out, that 1.32. Also note, spread sucks because it's a bar. I say that now and you'll see. The spread sucks, but it's what I would expect from a bar. Right around 50%, where you get this big thing right down the middle, and then light starts dropping off as you move to the outside. Average par 46, which is the highest of the 3 I tested. Because they're pushing a lot of electricity through those diodes. I could do the math, but I didn't do the math. It's probably somewhere around 1.7 watts per diode. 1.7, 1.8, something like that. Okay, that makes sense. Switch back. OR2. And it's no longer on my tank because I put my modified AliExpress bar on there. Let's see. Reef Bright. This is the dimmest of the dim. It is super dim. See that 46 average par, 27 average par. However, the spread is freaking phenomenal. Look at these numbers. These numbers are ridiculous. The lowest out here, look, 29, 31. It's the same. This is the same. So no matter where you put this thing over top, this is actually, I was super impressed. You put this thing, I'm not $167 impressed. And we'll get to that in a minute. But anywhere you put this thing above a tank, it's going to put down a blanket of incredibly low par. Very even and low. This is the AliExpress bar, which is very similar to the Orphic OR2. This is the stock bar, which is like 470 nanometers. It's actually 463. But this is what you expect. Right around 50% for it being a lensed bar. And these are the numbers. I was thinking I could pull out some of the damn lenses from the middle and flatten this out a little bit, but I was like, screw it, I'm gonna leave it alone. So that is the AliExpress bar. Note the average par is 35. The average par of the Reef Bright is 27. This bar is $45. This bar is $167. This bar is like $180. Something like that. 170, 180. I think if you get it from the manufacturer, it'll be cheaper. So maybe it's like 150, 160. Okay. Let's say 150. 167 and 17 cents. Whatever. And 45 bucks. If you want this custom and make it look like an Orphic, you can do that. And it's going to be like 60 bucks. 60 US. I think that's a pretty good deal. Spectrum. This is the OR2, and it's got a big, fat blue spectrum that's super impressive. And easy to replicate because they tell you what the diodes are right on their website. So you could order yourself an AliExpress bar at this spectrum. It'll put out just a tiny bit less bar. This is the incredibly flat, warm blanket of super low par Reef Bright. And it is 448 and 463 nanometer peaks. This is the AliExpress bar. And it is 463 only. If y'all been paying attention, you know that I modified mine. So now it's 470, 450, and it has a couple 420s in it. And it looks pretty good. I was happy with it. Build quality. I don't need to show you pictures. Orphic is by far the most beautiful. And it has a glass, legit beveled glass cover. And it really is. It's impressive. It's a nice looking light. I think you're certainly paying a premium for that name. But if you buy this thing, you'll be happy by the way it looks. Reef Bright? Nope. It's not made well. I'm not impressed at all. It's just not made well. You take it apart? No. AliExpress, made very similarly to the Orphic. But the AliExpress has a plastic lens. And it's not beveled. It is sealed. This thing, you're supposed to be able to put this thing underwater, which I would never do. And it's supposed to be able to take it if you splash it, you hit it with a hose, whatever. It's IP something, but that and the Orphic. Reef Bright, not so much. Let's see. No, there was more. Was there more? There's not more. Don't tell Ryan. Ryan knows exactly what he's buying, Andy. And I'm sure he got a pretty sweet deal. So I'm cool with that. Yeah, I think that was it for light testing data. I was, I'm really impressed by this spectrum. That is a lot of blue, and it looks really good over my tank. But then I put the modified AliExpress bar with a narrower spectrum than the Orphic, but still pretty decent at 420, 450, 470. I think it was 420, 425 maybe. I don't know. And that looks pretty good too. And it's smaller. It's not as fat. Let's say. Has anyone seen GHL controllers on Black Friday in the past? Just curious. Chris, I am aware that they are going to have some products available for sale on Black Friday, but I don't know what they are. What's up, Thomas? Haven't heard much about the Orphic lights myself. I mean, so if you look at how these lights, if you look at how these lights are constructed, it looks exactly like this. It is a very similar, well, I'll say similar. It is a very similar circuit board with resistors in parallel, so if the diodes fry, it doesn't negatively impact the rest of the diodes in the string, which is how they're supposed to be made. This and the Orphic are made this way. The Reef Bright is not. They have lenses, and it's the same lenses. And it's inside an extruded aluminum anodized or otherwise body. The diodes are on this little metal plate. They're soldered to a little metal plate. That's the length on the Orphic and the AliExpress. It's the length of the light itself. There's heat transfer, silver heat transfer compound on the bottom of that. That makes contact with the body of the light, and that's how the lights remove heat from the diodes. It's very effective. It works well. The Reef Bright is similar, but the 24-inch has, I believe, 3 separate light boards in there, soldered light boards in there, instead of one big long one. And occasionally, you really can't see it. You can see it over here. Occasionally, the heat removal ability of whatever's in there ain't good enough. And in this particular case, and the same thing with the other light that I had, every other diode, those are the 450s, they cook. And then you have to replace them. Now, this is old. This is an old light. So it's totally possible the heat transfer compound dried up or became otherwise ineffective. So I'm not gonna blame them. It's an old light that it shouldn't do that. But it did. And they're the same diodes that are in the AliExpress bar and the same diodes that are in the Orphic. They're just 3-watt diodes. So really, a custom Ali-E just needs a reflector like the Reef Bright. You have tried to make it yet? Jeremy, I'm sourcing that material. Yeah, I mean, this whatever. This could be Mylar over aluminum. You could do it that way. That's the way I would do it, I think. This could be polished aluminum, like what you get out of a T5 fixture, and then you could just fashion your own. But if you get this stuff and then you punch some holes in it and you space it correctly for the diodes, you could totally turn. It'd be easier with the Orphic because the body's so much bigger. But you could absolutely turn this light into a Reef Bright kind of reflector thing. But again, you're put in a position then where your par is just crazy low for the money you're spending, and the total energy output of that light is less than that of similar bars with lenses. And then you buy 2 bars with lenses for the huge price of $90, and you're still $70. You're still saving $70. So, yeah, everybody do what they want to do, right? Because that's what we do. But the cost differential is unjustifiable. It just isn't. And you can easily make yourself a reflector if you were looking for a low par. Now, if you got some fancy diodes, because guess what? A Mitras LX7 doesn't have lenses. It's just diodes. So if you got some nice diodes, some legit diodes from Cree or Philips or any of those name brand jobbers that were putting out 5-6 watts, and you drove those things up over 3 watts, you'd have a heat thing. I've done that before, and that gets pretty hot. But you could absolutely put out way more power if you wanted to do that. For the price of this 24-inch Reef Bright, it should have good diodes, and it doesn't. It's really expensive. It's too expensive. It's like I'm going to find this aluminum, this extrude. I know I can. And then I can make my own. And I can tell you how much retail parts I can make this thing for. But I'm guessing under $60. Are you going to enlighten us with the translation of the... I'm sorry, Andy. You're not... Maybe you're not following... All right. So, 420 is bluish violet. 450 is royal blue. 470 is blue. So, if you're looking at, like, a Radeon, that has a whole lot of 410... Not a lot of 420, if I'm remembering right. And then a bunch of 450, 470, that kind of stuff. Radeon has that really deep kind of bluish. It's a violet blue, and that's coming out of the 410. The closer you get to 400, the more violet you get. As soon as you hit 400, you turn ultraviolet. So then you start turning... You get into the out of visible range light, UV. But from 400 up to around 470, that's kind of where I play with lights. And really, for me, 420, which is blue violet, 450, which is royal blue, and 470, which is blue, those are the sweet spots for me. Those are what I like. So is it technically a Chinese box? I would argue on that an Orphic Atlantic is technically a Chinese box. I think it comes down to what is the definition of the Chinese box, because I think that that paradigm has changed a little bit, where that moniker doesn't necessarily apply like it used to, because you get a Viper Spectra. We classify that as a Chinese box. At what point do lights become not Chinese box? Because I would argue that a Reef Bright, although claimed to be made in the USA, it may be final assembled there. But the power supplies come from China. And I don't know. Yeah, I think it's getting to the point where, I mean, you've seen what can be made in the United States. And then we had lunch, late lunch, sort of a dinner-ish lunch. You can see what can be made here well with super fancy machines and very expensive lights. And then you can see what else is out there, right? Do you have a link for the 120-degree replacement lenses for the Viper Spectra, Craig? If it's not, I think that's in the, take a look at the video. Take a look at the YouTube video I did. I do believe I put a link in the description for those. I got them from Amazon sells them, and AliExpress sells them. Take a look. If you can't find them, let me know. DM me on Instagram, and I'll talk. Yeah, thanks, Andy. I guess I should have read that before I started talking, huh? Lynn, what did you share? Did you share drama? All right, what else we got to talk about? That's it. Anybody have any questions? I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I said fungus, the drama that is Apex or Neptune and Coral View, pH stuff, light testing. I continue to warm up more and more. Really, I kind of like the thing from the beginning, but I still want to dial it in. This tiny little spectrometer for $650 is, I mean, it has a little weight to it, so I feel okay spending that kind of money, but it's really cool and it gives you really decent, I mean, all of those spectrum graphs that I shared, that was all from this little baby spectrometer, and the peaks align perfectly with that $3,000 jobber. So I'm happy with, I'm thinking about upgrading this. This is my Insta360. Those 360 videos, theoretically, I could stream. If I had a phone that had good battery, I understand that I can stream from this camera directly to YouTube, which would be kind of interesting, because then we could do some DIY streaming with the 360, and you could look at all the stuff that people don't let you look at when they record videos, because you can look everywhere. But I posted a couple videos. I posted a walk-in video with the boys back at Reefapalooza last year. And then I posted I think it was like a 1-minute video just sitting in the craft room. So you could look around. If you have your phone, you can turn it and you can see, or you could just move it with your finger. So you can see what the space looks like when I junk it up while I'm light testing. Yup. Later on. Philosophy for adding a second clown to a tank. I was able to do that with the work tank. I had a single clown. No, wait, did I buy them both at the same time? I thought I went shopping and bought the second one with coworkers later. I just chucked it in the tank and hope for the best. Like in this tiny little tank over here, there's 2 clowns. In that one. But they came in at the same time and they quarantined together, and they all seemed pretty, pretty cool, so I didn't have a problem. Jeremy Phillips, I just want the lack of shadowing like the Reef Bright. So, interesting you say that, Jeremy Phillips, but I did a shadow test. And the Reef Bright did 1% better at managing shadows than the $45 AliExpress light. So, you know, it's your money, right? Make a decision that works best for you. Just understand that the light that's coming out of that Reef Bright is super dim. And you still get shadows on the sides because it's over top and you can't get rid of that. It still has shadows. So, like I said, little shadow test, 1% better than the cheap light. What's up, Daniel Evans? I would like the community's opinion. I'm thinking about buying an 80-gallon rimless lagoon tank. I hope you get an answer, Andy, because I am of no value. All of my tanks are cheap tanks. 40-gallon breeder, Petco. Display, probably Petco. That was a free one. LFS offered me 2 XR30s for $600, but he doesn't know if they are Gen 3 or Gen 4. Open them up. 2 for $600 is an amazing price. And What are the buttons on a Gen 3 and a Gen 4? I have a Gen 3 and a Gen 4. Or the buttons capacitive or whatever, like no buttons on a Gen. They are on a Gen 2, I know that, but I can't remember Gen 3. If you take the light apart, you'll know. If they let you. Even if they're Gen 3s, nah, I wouldn't do it for Gen 3s. For Gen 4, that's a crazy good price if they actually work. Love the shallow reef. Check out my videos. Well, see, there you go. Make sure the new clown is drastically smaller. That I know. And there's one in here that's really, really small compared to the other one, and it worked out really well. Seapora is a cheap tank, like $600. It ain't $1 a gallon cheap like I get at the daggum Petco. Or the free. Yeah, $600. I have not spent quality money on a tank. I would really like a 90-gallon cube. It would fit in the corner. I think that'd be nice. Time to set up a QT. Do it. You don't need to set up a tank. It can be a plastic container from Home Depot with a cheap pump in it to move the water, especially this time of year. If you have seasons, it's a lot easier to maintain the temperature. If you put a pump in a small tank or a small container with a lid from the depot, it'll eventually heat up that water. But if it is in an area that has decent cooling, then you'll be okay. When I did my QT, my last quarantine, that was a legit container from Home Depot. Would it be worth it, a good bump and par, to add 4 of the custom AliExpress bars to the 4 OR3 that I have, or would it be better to add more XR15? Pirate Monkey, remind me, how many XR15s? Over what size tank? 4 OR3. That's a lot of OR3s. Breeder box to slowly introduce it. Next $1 per gallon. Oof. That'd be pretty sweet if you get a 180 for that. Is that how that goes? One day I'll get a nice tank. See, there you go. You're good. This might be a short one, peeps. I'm out of content. I enjoyed testing these lights. I was really impressed by the spread of the Reef Bright. That's crazy spread. What did I say that was? Look, that's the only good thing about that light, and it's really, really good. Everything else? Nah. That was crazy how good. It was 87%. Take a look at Bulk Resupplies videos. Ain't no light got the spread like that. I can tell you that. Yeah, I mean, I also don't get it, and I posted this on the Instagram post where I shared the AliExpress versus the Reef Bright. I don't get the use case. You got a 4-bulb T5, and then you put these super dim LEDs way out there, and they're super dim LEDs with an incredibly beautiful spread, and you put them way out on the side. You're using a whole lot of that spread to illuminate the bottom of your T5 doohickey. Thanks, Taylor. That's nice of you. You're using a lot of that spread to illuminate the bottom of your T5 fixture. Why not put the AliExpress bars out on the sides with their lenses so you can actually get that light in the tank? Where the best use case and where I saw the most impact of this light was underneath. It was looked like this, and there was an XR30 here this way, so the fan was right here, and another XR30. Oh wait, is that how? Yeah, that's how it went. This way, with the fan right there. This underneath them, because this has to be low to the tank. Excuse me. And that worked really, really well. So that got this thing just a few inches above the water with that crazy spread over a 40 breeder. And my out consumption jumped. I wasn't ready for it, and it absolutely jumped. And I dropped down into 6s something from the 8s something, just from adding this light. Really low. That's where it makes sense. Sticking this thing way out here on a T5 thingy, nah, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because I don't know what kind of, the reflection you get off this thing is just stupid. But putting it underneath main lights, that made sense to me. Here's one thing that bugs me. Just one. Wait. Bam. Can you see right here? You see how that reflector material overlaps? It's because they're cheap. And they just cut it and overlap it instead of having it be the full length of the light. I don't know why they do that. I think they do that because they just use the material as they see fit. I found that to be cheesy, but it works. Again, best spread, period. Best spread I've ever seen on an LED. But that's it. Pirate Monkey, you were sending me your par numbers last week and they were really, really tiny. Was that you? That probably was you. 4 XR15 and 4 OR3s. Didn't you have good par? I thought you had good par. What's up with the 360 camera? I've had that 360 camera for a bit and I think that thing's cool. I took that thing to Europe and that was nice. One of these days I'll stream with it so you can see what it's like. Yeah. It's $1 per gallon up to 30 gallon, then 50% off. That sucks. I thought the 40 breeders were $40 back in the day. Next test option, reef breeder versus modified Viper Spectra. Which reef breeder? Not the rebranded AliExpress bar, right? You're talking about the whatever, what's that other one? That big one? I don't remember what that thing's called. Do you? I don't remember. BRS called Reef Breeder the nicest Chinese box, so yeah. Yeah. I think they sell reef breeders, don't they? They gotta include that in their doohickey. I think they sell them. Taylor Kenning again. That was super nice of you. Thank you. Is it just me or everyone better behave because it's Sunday night? No. Back in the day they were. All the way up to 55. See, that's the way it should be. Photon. Oh, no, here. Yeah, that sucks. 40 breeder back in the day. Moki showed up one day with a 40 breeder. I was like, hey, man, you going to Petco? He goes, yup. And he brings me over 40. I was like, sweet. I don't know that I'd buy a Photon. What's the wattage of that? What's the Photon V2's wattage? Decent par, but peaking at like low 300s in the top half with cool white at 100%. I'm not a white guy. Wow. But I'm not a white guy. I like running blue. I like the whites, so that's not an issue. Oh, you're one of those. Yeah, yeah. Well, because they're dirt cheap, buy an AliExpress bar and see what you think. And see if it helps. Buy one of those 470s. Yeah, thanks, Daniel. That's why they got to include it. If they didn't sell it, they wouldn't have included it. Total power 230 max. So if you like white lights, then you'll get maybe 200, 210. But if you're a blue, then you're probably going to get a $180 watts out of that light. That's a powerful light. That is up there with, that's actually higher than a Gen 4 XR30 running AB+, and it's right around a totally maxed out Mitris LX7 running my my AB+. That's a lot of light. Maybe I'll pick up 2 and see where it takes me. Yeah, I mean, that's what I did, right? Somebody turned me on to this light, and I was like, oh, that's interesting and dirt cheap, so I bought one. And I was like, well, shit, now I'm pissed because I like this light and it's cheap, so why are these other lights so expensive? And that's how I ended up in this rabbit hole. Because it just doesn't make sense that these lights are as expensive as they are. Turns out they shouldn't be. It turns out there's a whole lot of marketing and jibber jab and word of mouth, and people think they're awesome when in fact they're not. But they still work. All right, y'all. That's an hour. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I did. Y'all good? Tomorrow's going to be a long day. Got a lot of work to do. All right. That's it. Thanks for hanging out. I hope it wasn't too boring. It was a little slow tonight, right? Cool light info, though. I enjoyed testing. I was surprised by each light, actually, because it was very cool to be able to see how they performed. And like I said, I was blown away by the Reef Bright spread. Because I don't think... Thank you, Thomas. You're awesome. That's super cool. Thank you very much. I don't think BRS did a spread. I don't think they did a test of the Reef Bright like they have done with the other lights. And they should have, because that's really, really good data. I'm surprised they haven't done it. I mean, it's super low par. But still, the spread is ridiculous. Like I said, if you can put those things below, I mean, if you want to spend $167, put it below your primary lights. Don't block your primary lights with it, but somehow get it down there. An older XR, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, maybe even Gen 1. I haven't had one of those. 234s have the fan on the bottom, so you can stick that Reef Bright right there where the fan is. It works really well. Thomas, that's too cool of you. Thank you so much. What's up, Daniel? Australia. It's tomorrow. How's the future look? Can you tell me what the future looks like on November 3rd, please? Thank you. Thomas, that really is cool of you. Thanks so much. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna jump off. If there is, like I said, I think I'm gonna buy one of those. I found a small aquarium retailer that will, and I want to help the LFS. I want to help the little guy out. There's a Hydros. Take a look at who's selling the Hydros, and then think about who you want to give your money to. I found a small retailer in Minnesota that's going to sell one. And I think I'm going to buy it because I think we need to know. I like controllers. I think they're cool. I think the price point is interesting, and I want to see how it compares to that GHL Mini over there because I really like that thing. So But ideas, let me know. Because I think I'm almost done with testing lights for now. Until maybe something else shows up. But I've kind of worked my way through them. So maybe we'll move on to controllers. That'd be fun. All right, y'all. What's up, producer? You didn't miss it. You didn't miss anything, man. It was just me rambling for an hour. There was no good data. There was no value to the stream whatsoever. I sort of sat here. Everybody just sort of sat there. And we really, you know, we just sort of hung out. Oh. I made dinner for the boy and me. Because he likes seafood. And I had remnants of a, what is the box called? Not HelloFresh. Whatever. Blue Apron. I had remnants of a Blue Apron box that involved shrimp and spices and some stuff. I was like, man. And it was meant to be like spaghetti squash. And that's not me. So I made some noodles. And I got that shrimp going. I was like, man, I need a sauce. So I had a little white wine. So I put the rest of the white wine from like last weekend that I drank. There was just that much left. And I put that in there. And then I made a butter and Chick-fil-A sauce because there was some in the drawer. Butter and Chick-fil-A sauce in the noodles with a spice shrimp. Oh, that was good. So if you need a budget white sauce recipe for your noodles, butter and Chick-fil-A sauce. It's bad for you. It will kill you, but it tasted so good. And the shrimp was good. The boy ate like crazy. I'm still running a Reef Keeper. Daniel Evans, so am I. I have a Reef Keeper on, it is my original controller on my display. And then the E-Coral and Apex Junior and the Profilux 4 from GHL are all in the closet with the frag tank. They're all doing things. But Reef Keepers, man, from back in the day, you couldn't get those stupid things online for nothing. But man, they worked really well. You just were sort of blind when you went on vacation. I have another one out in the garage too. I had a spare in the garage. Of course I had a spare. I got a spare in the garage. That's nice of you, Chris. Thanks. I think, you know, if there's a little bit of value, if there's a little bit of humor, if there's a little bit of learning, for me, I really like learning this kind of stuff. And if I can share that and it's helpful, cool. If it's not helpful, then I totally get it. Maybe I'll eventually get to somewhere where maybe it is helpful. But I just try to, I stay busy. And I like to be able to share and, sometimes I can help people and sometimes I can't. So, Jim, dude, with the times that we are living, an hour of peaceful time, it's gold. Thanks, Andy. That's super cool. Y'all are really nice. Thank you very much. I'm not sure I deserve all this niceness, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, by the way, apple cider, because I was going to say, you should like apple cider. It's really good. I was going to call a name. Apple cider with Stoli's salted caramel vodka in there. That's pretty good. I need you to make a vid on the Hydros and get viral on YouTube. 15 minutes. Let's get viral. So, you know what really did well is I did that Hannah nitrate tester. And I was second on the internet. I was second on YouTube behind Mr. Saltwater Tank. That video's done pretty well. Lots of people watch that thing. Taylor King. You're another Australian. Who's that other guy? There's another one in here. I asked what the future looks like. And I really want to know what November 3rd looks like. Maybe y'all get a look at it before me, because I would appreciate that. Thank you, Mother. No, I mean, sometimes it's a little, I don't know. Thank you. I appreciate all the kind words. I appreciate the appreciation. And I appreciate the opportunity to help where I can. I've always said if I can help, I'll absolutely try to help. If I can't help, I'll try to find you help. If I can't do that, I wish you luck. And then I want you to come back and I want you to tell me what you did so I can learn from your experience, because I think that matters. That cool? All right, enough rambling on. I'm going to finish my drink and get out. I'm going to turn off my lights and try not to trip over my light testing apparatus. It's Sunday, Monday for some of you. I hope you all have a great week. What are we going to talk about next week? I got to think about that. Send me some ideas. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Sometimes I just sort of wing it, and it just sort of happens. But you can probably see that in the content. Hit me up. Let me know what you got going on. I hope the time change for those of you who changed time yesterday or today. I hope that doesn't suck too bad for you, because it's going to be like dark at 4 p.m. and that's horrible. But but spring's coming. On a positive note, spring's coming. All right. Have a good week. Y'all be good. I hope your families are well. I hope you're well. I think it's still crazy. I will continue to think it's crazy for quite some time. But keep your head down and pay attention to the news. Not really, not that much. Pay attention to what's important to you, maybe. And then don't get hung up in the craziness of the world, because the world's full of people that want you engaged and they're crazy. And that's unnecessary. Be well, y'all. Thank you very much. Be kind, please. Happy reefing, and be kind.